You have tuned in to The Thinking Class with Lawrence D. Adams. Let's go. Salute everyone. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combined. You have the thinking class. We are back again. Let me get my banner up, get it going. What a great week this has been. Good to see everybody. Good to be here. We're talking about the masculine revival, why more men are embracing strength, purpose, and accountability. Woo! What I'm going to say is another, can you believe this week what has transpired? Can you believe this week what has transpired? This is an historical time in our nation. A lot of people in their feelings. People are crashing out. They're having emotional fits, yelling at the screen. This has been an roller coaster week this week with the elections and allegations, lawfare, every law warfare they call them, all kind of things. This has been one crazy week. Well, actually, 3 weeks, but it's been one amazing week. I am so glad to see people engaging in the political exercise of voting, for the popular vote and electoral college to actually determine who was going to win. This has been fabulous. I actually enjoyed it. Of course, I enjoyed a little bit of trolling that I did for some people. I love you. Don't worry. Don't take it personal. It just happens. But the masculine revival, why more men are embracing strength, purpose, and accountability. And I think that's something that we need to look at in this current time that we're in with the election results and about the amount of men who decided to go their own way and actually go into another direction and begin to stand on their what they believe in and where they're going to go. This is what we are seeing. We are seeing a revival of masculinity. What that means. So when I said revival or masculine revival, what I'm saying is that there are men who are now waking up to their masculinity, and most of that starts off with the first point. What it is their purpose. A lot of men are now walking now in their purpose. And let me say this: their purpose is one of the reasons why they decided to do the things they do, say in this election, and what's going on right now. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, it may not make you feel good, but when men begin to walk in purpose, everything around them begins to get in line. So let me say that. So when men begin to walk in their purpose, everything around them begins to come in line. And what we've seen for these past, say, 60 years plus, we've seen a lot of men who are driven by their emotions, who are driven by the desires of others, their mother, sister, fathers, and everyone else, but they have not been driven by what is their purpose and their passion. And what we have seen now is a revival of men or masculine men coming back to the forefront. Will you like what they say and what they do? No, you will not. It's like this. It's when you begin to realize that the little kitten that you had that you thought was so nice and cuddly is really a lion. That's exactly what happened. It's that little kitten. It's like, oh, I'm just going to take this kitten in, and he's cuddly, he's cozy. You can tell, put him over here, and they stay, or they play with their toy over there. That time is over. We're seeing men who are starting to walk in their purpose. And what happens is you cannot tame them. Let me say that again. You cannot tame them. And we're seeing men say, no, my purpose was never for me to be tamed. My purpose was always designed for me to lead, guide, give vision and clarity to the future. And eliminate, this is the part that most people don't want to hear, and eliminate any enemies to my tribe. Let me say that again. Salute, okay, what's going on, bro? So definitely, I can put the link in there if you want to come. I think you're at work, but I'll put the link in there if you wanted to come up. But it is time. Men have now decided, let me do this. That this right here, we ain't going for. And I don't care what side that you voted on, I really don't care. But what you're seeing is what was once a silent voting class has now become a voice that needs to be reckoned with. Let me say that again. I know you're at work. So let me say it again. We're seeing now a silent voting class that nobody really heard about. They were just considered over there in the cut. Now it's brought to the forefront. What do we do about them? That means these men are no longer standing on the sideline and allowing others to decide for them. They're standing up and decided to stand up. They're standing up and deciding, this is the direction I want to go in. This is the direction I want my family to go in, and this is the direction I see the future going in. I was talking to my son, and you were saying about on the college campus that a lot of the young men are conservatives, yet a lot of the young women are liberal. I said, that's interesting, son. So how do you guys navigate that? I mean, he said we just navigate through it. So what we're seeing is a lot of men are coming back to the middle of being conservative. They're finding their purpose. Actually, if we were to be honest, especially in this space, there's a lot of men who want what? Who want family. There's a lot of men who want what? Family. But they just don't want family with just any old Susie Q. See, when you have your purpose and your passion, you eliminate those who become a distraction to where you're going. Let me say that again. When you're on your purpose and your passion and where you're going, you eliminate anything that becomes a distraction to where you go. And guess what? It has nothing to do about how you feel or even how they feel. It has everything to do. Does this person, does this plan, does this item fit into the purpose and where I'm going? That's reclaimed. That's men revive the masculine revival that's going on. And it's very scary to those who have been driven by emotions and those who are driven by, I feel a certain way and I don't know why I feel that. Oh, you can feel all you want. When a man, and I'm saying because it's a man's channel, is on his purpose, you need to get out of his way. And let me emphasize this other side, because I'm got to emphasize this. And any enemies of that man who's in his purpose will be destroyed. Let me say that again, because I think most people think that men ain't like that. Any enemy of that man's purpose will be destroyed, annihilated, taken care of out of his life. So his purpose is non-negotiable for anyone. I promise you. I promise you. I'm seeing men who are saying, you know what? I ain't going for all that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm saying something. And when I look at it historically, and I've said this years ago, a lot of men have not gotten their voice because they've been afraid to speak up, because they were afraid that if I say something, I may lose something. Now they don't care if they lose it, because their peace is what they're looking for. Their peace of mind, their peace, a piece of money in their pocket. He said, I'm not going for it. A lot of men have been muted for so long that now that you hear a man speaks, it almost seems like thunder, because you never heard a man say no. You never heard a man say yes. And so it sounds like thunder to those who have never been in a rain. So we also know with the masculine revival, more men are embracing their strength, their purpose, and their accountability. The other thing is a lot of men are starting to get in touch with the three P's, or the three parts of them, which is their physical, their mental, and their spiritual. You're seeing a lot of men starting to heal from what? Emotional wounds, child trauma, and other sorts. I'm gonna say something. Years ago, I did the dating show, and I did my whole it was the Mr. L radio show at the time, and I did dating for men and women. And I thought about it, I said that was good, but I realized what was needed is that the foundation needed to be relayed inside of men. A lot of men have been suffering without saying anything. I did a whole video this week on this shame that men were dealing with. And I said that the moment you deal with the shame that's inside of you and accept it, you can go free. Many times men are grappling with their shame that they have about what happened to them as a child, their addiction to pornography, the amount of women that they're trying to get women. They're trying to get as many notches of women under their belt because they're dealing with the shame that they don't have no game, one, and two, because they're trying to feel like a man and they think if I have all these women, it's gonna make me feel like a man, and you get all the women and it makes you feel like, well, okay, next. You're trying to get your purpose outside of you instead of going within you and finding your purpose. And so what you do is you go in a vicious cycle of shaming yourself, beating yourself up because you didn't get the girl you want. You didn't get the job you want. You don't have the money you want. And so you never climb out of that. And you think by getting some information online, that's going to free you. All it does is just soothe you for a moment until you deal with the shame that's inside of you, the discouragement that you have, and accept it and say, you know what, I am like that. Many of us don't want to deal with the shadow selves, or the shadow part of us, the dark side of us. And until you face that, there can really be no masculine revival. Real men go deep and deal with the issues that's been laying in the cut that they don't want to talk about. The stuff they watch at night that they don't want to talk about. The girl that you know, the things you did, you really ain't slipped up and said. Until men deal with that, there can really be no masculine revival. And what we're seeing is men are starting to do the work. They're starting to dig deep. They're starting to dig deep into who they are and say, let me heal from this and move forward. So men are starting to embrace the dark side of them. You can never move forward until you deal with the stuff you don't like about yourself. You can never move forward until you deal with the stuff you don't like about you. You can blame the woman. You can blame the government. You can say, well, Trump's in office, this, and you can do all that crying and whining all you want. Until you deal with the stuff that's inside of you, you'll never move forward. Until you accept it that this is me, this is who I am, and I accept it, and I'm going to love it, I will move forward. So a lot of men are realizing that until they're dealing with the issues that are inside of them, because it's easy, especially on these social media streets. Well, this woman did this, and she did that, and this woman said this. The reality of it is you ain't dealing with your sugar honey iced tea. And that's where the issue is with a lot of men. So first thing I'm talking about, first thing was purpose. Men be on their purpose and find their passion. The next things, we're defining strength beyond physical power. Men are realizing that, yes, it takes physical strength, but they're now getting and tapping into the mental strength, what me and Pimp God talked about on last week, 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks we did this thing, the mental side of it, but they're tapping into the spiritual strength. You cannot accomplish all the things you need to accomplish until you tap into the mental and the spiritual side of who you are. Let me say that again. You cannot tap into the things, the purpose, the things you need to do until you tap into the mental and the spiritual side of who you are. You need to tap into something that's stronger than who you are and what your ability to do. You need to read a book that you would not normally read. You need to engage in a different conversation that you wouldn't normally have. You need to talk to people who don't think like you. That's what happens in these spaces. We get into a silo and we're talking to just the people that thinks like us. You need to get into with people who disagree with you. That's how you expand yourself as a person, especially as a man. You get into people who don't agree theologically with you, ideologically with you, mentally with you. What happens is you begin to share ideas and they begin to expand you as a person, and it strengthens you. And I think a lot of men have not tapped into that because they're used to just going, they're in the habit of staying in the same rut. If you're talking about a masculine revival, there has to be a masculine revival when you begin to expand your palette of mental knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Because if you tap into the mental, it's actually bigger than what you ever think. If you tap into the spiritual, it's beyond your imagination. That's why I say on here, the imagination is the playground of the gods. You have not tapped into the godness of who you are. So you settle for crumbs sitting at the table begging on the physical side. You have not tapped into the godness of who you are. So you settle for crumbs over here on the physical side. I'm going to say it one more time because it's for someone who needs to hear it. You have not tapped into the godness of who you are. And therefore you beg for crumbs on this side. And when you beg for crumbs, you wonder why it didn't work, because you didn't go within to realize that everything that you need first start with you. Let me say something about this physical strength too, something I've been talking about behind the scenes, but I'm going to say it here. And I'm gonna bring it up. It brings to masculine revival. And y'all what's going on? What's going on, America? That's my dude, American Brazilian. What's going on? Let me say this too. When you begin to tap into the spiritual side of who you are, the mental side of who you are, you begin to expand as a man. You realize your purpose is not just predicated just for you, but those around you. That's where you grow as a man. That's where the masculine revival happens. That's what we're seeing happening right now on the political front, and even on what's going on with this country. We're seeing the paradigm begin to switch back to center. Men are finally beginning to wake up and begin to say, wait, we ain't going for all that. But we also seen something else, and I'm going to call it out, whether you like it or not. We also seen a group of men who are deciding to not tap into their masculine polarity, and they're tapping more into their feminine polarity, and they're getting into their feelings. So your purpose has to be non-negotiable. The next key point I want to get is accountability for the path of freedom. Let me say this. True freedom doesn't come from avoiding responsibility, but owning every part of our lives, being proud of the standards we set for ourselves. Let me say that again. True freedom doesn't come from avoiding what? Accountability or responsibility. We're seeing now that finally men are taking accountability. Oh, you talking about Crimea River Jones? Yeah, Van Jones, always in his feelings. Let's be honest, man. Let me be honest. He's a nice looking guy, muscles, got the bald head, got the glasses, he got the jawline. I'm not here to judge no other man. I don't care about that. I'm not on that team. But you really think? Let's be real clear. Shout out to you, Van Jones. You're always welcome to come up. We can always chop it up. But you think a woman is going to really go follow his program because everything that go his way, he's on record crying online? I mean, let's be just every time you see him, but only straight black man, but make him look weak on TV. Shake me. Yeah, the only straight black man, make him look weak on TV. Right. You think a woman's going to cry every time we look around, this guy's crying. We go get Tito, go get the tissue. I can't believe this. This is for everybody. Why you got to cry by everything, bro? And no shade to him, but this reality of it is, do you think a woman going to really follow after that? She might enjoy him for a physical time, but she won't be there for a long time. Let me say that again. She may be there for the physical for a short time, but she's not going to be there for a long time. All that crying, and there's nothing wrong with crying and things like that. But when you excessively crying like that, come on, bro. Come on. I'm doing like Bootsy. Come on, bro. Come on, man. So come on. You gonna really do that? You gonna really cry like that? Come on. That's what I'm saying. There's a masculine revival that's going on where men are standing back up on their square and deciding this is the way I'm going in, whether you with it or you ain't. And if you ain't, I will leave this country. I heard there was a strike going on too. I know I'm still in my pocket. I heard there was a strike because of the election. Some people decided that they're not going to have sex during this time. Okay, don't have sex. What's going on, Golden Child? Don't have sex. Cool, whatever. Do you think you have that? There's that the numbers are in your favor. There are more women than men, so you not having sex doesn't even matter. Come on, man. I wish I could insert Bootsy right now. Come on, man, for real. No. That's why I'm saying men be on your purpose and accountability for your path of freedom. What? Accountability for your path of freedom. When you take responsibility for your own happiness, I'm gonna say something for some people that ain't gonna like it. When you take responsibility for your own happiness, your own likes and dislikes, you take responsibility, it changes everything. And I'm gonna say this, and this gonna hurt some people's feelings, especially on these sides of the streets of this, on these dating sites and all, everything else. Shout out to all my brothers out there. But I'm gonna say this: You got to stop looking for the woman to make you happy. What? Stop looking for the woman to be your savior and to make you happy. If I'm going to take the glove, so I might as well take it off today. Because you're taking responsibility for your own freedom. Some of you guys won't do and say to be who your authentic self, because you're afraid that if you be your authentic self, that she's going to run away. When she's been longing for you to be your authentic self. Some of you guys, you're looking for the woman to make you happy. Second of all, you think the government's going to make you happy. You think that if I get a check, a stimulus check, if I get this happen, I'm going to be, none of those things are going to make you. You cannot allow something on the outside of you to fill your cup. Let me say that again. You cannot allow nothing on the outside of you to fill your cup. That's why you're losing when it comes to the women, because you're looking for her to be your everything. I love you. You need to love yourself first. The Bible, if I was to put a Bible in there, love your neighbor as you love yourself. The degree that you love yourself is the degree that you will love someone else. And when you begin to love who you are, or take responsibility for loving you, guess what's going to happen? It's going to be easy for other people to love you. You stop looking for what? Someone on the outside to satisfy your needs. And you push the woman into the wrong position. Now she's in the what? Me and Pimp God talked about this. Now she's in the position of what? The giver instead of the receiver. Let me say that again. Pimp God said this. We talked about this. When you looking for her to be your everything, and I just need love from her. She got to give me. You put her in the position of giver when she's designed to be the receiver of love. You're supposed to love your wife or love that woman. She's not. There's nowhere it said she's supposed to love you back. She respect you, but love. So you wondering why the game ain't clicking for you? Right there. You have not put yourself first. Some people say, well, that don't sound right. Women ain't gonna like that. You got to choose the right women or the right woman. When you love yourself first, it becomes easier for other people to love you, because you're taking responsibility for your what? Happiness. You can't be disappointed. Because hey, it's all good. I love me. People, oh, that's arrogant. That's selfish. Why would you sound like that? Why would a bench channel sound like that? That don't feel right. Tell me how I've been working for you for the past 5 years versus how it's working for me. Let's compare notes. Let's do the data on that. See if it really works. Ask women for real. Do they want a man that's always, baby, I love you. I think you know everything. They don't want that. They want a man that's sure in himself, confident in himself, and loves himself, and able to pour love back to her. Because he's accountable for his own happiness. He's accountable for his own sugar, honey, iced tea. This game right here separates the men from the boys. This separates you looking online for all the game in the world when you begin to put yourself first. Plus, no, really, there are women who want projects, but once they finish the project with you, they move on to the next one. She wants someone she can look up to, not someone she has to fix. She wants some man that she can look up to, not someone she has to fix. Because you're taking accountability for who you are. You're good, you're bad, and you're indifferent. I don't know why I'm on that, but it is. I'm just saying. I'm just calling it out. You may not like it. If this is red, let me know in the chat room. This is if you're getting something from this, is making sense to you. So this leads me to my next point, which is shout out to McCain, because he's a part of it. This right here, this ain't for the weak today. Let's put it this way. I said stop looking for love for her. But this right here, build a supportive network with like-minded men. Hear me clearly when I'm about to say, because this goes against everything from church I heard, everything on dating sites, what I hear women say, what I hear men say. And I'm going to say it right now. And I heard it this week, and I actually, me and someone talked about it, but this is it. She ain't your best friend. Let me say that again. She ain't your best friend. Stop making her your best friend. And ladies, stop making him your best friend. Men, you grow with other men when iron sharpens iron. It has, I've said this week to the group behind what we have on Instagram with McCain and Alfie and some other people. You guys have helped me look at myself, you didn't sugarcoat anything. If it wasn't good, you said, nah, bro, that ain't good. You called it out. You need to be in a group, especially men, you want to grow because you can't grow by yourself. You need to find a group of men who are speaking your language. Shout out to you, Mr. Conversation. Let me say that again. You need to be with a group of men who are speaking your language. She ain't your best friend. You don't gotta tell her everything. She need to know everything. And what happens is you're no longer her lover or her leader. And then you become her friend. Twin, where have you been? There's no sexual tension between you. There's no polarity between you because you're grown neutral. Oh yeah, I'm on it. Men, you need to find. Shout out to my buddy. Where's that? Brazilian, American Brazilian. We talk behind the scenes. We share. We laugh. We share memes. I interact with other men to sharpen who I am, and I make sure these men have been vetted by me to make sure that I'm in the right group of men that are going to expand me and challenge me. I'm not going to be in a group with a bunch of losers. I just can't do it. It's not going to be me. I'm men who are going somewhere, men who are travel, men who experience different things, who are married out of the country, who are traveling, doing things I want to do, who are doing things I want to do. So I'm not saying it's good to get with a group of men, because you can be with a group of men and be a bunch of winos on the side of the street. They're a group. Well, LDA said be with a group of men. They're a bunch of winos. You need to choose the men that you need to be with, who are going to stretch you and grow you and call you on your crap. You need to be around those men. And ladies, you need to be around women who are going to keep you accountable. Shout out to, like I said, a group with McCain. We keep each other accountable. We share, we laugh. I don't know about this. We discuss, we may debate, we may agree or disagree, but we hold each other accountable to being men. If something that's funny style, I think it's going to be said. If it really gets intense, we're going to call each other. Why? Because that's what men need. Some of y'all have been under your mama so long that you don't even know how to be under you don't even know how to interact with men. Some of y'all been under your mother so long that you don't even know how to interact with other men. Let me say that again. Some of y'all been under your mother so long that you don't know how to interact with other men. And so what happens is when you get with other men, you feel intimidated and you feel insecure because now your slip is showing and you realize you don't know everything you thought you knew, and you thought you was the great one, which you were not. And now you want to, your first defense is to get emotional and want to fight. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. McCain, we can talk about it all day. You already know, because your mask can't, around other men, you can't pretend like you think you can. around other men, you can't really pretend because we're gonna see right through you. You might fool everybody else, but you ain't gonna fool. You can't fool some men who are thorough, who are on their P's and Q's. You're not gonna be able to fool us. We're gonna see right through you. Same way what women do. They can see when another woman is interested, or they can see through another woman's agenda. The same thing a man can do with another man. He's gonna call you out, yo, bro. I don't know about that one. Yo, what you said? Nah, I don't think you should. That ain't a good move. And it's not even about hating. It's about saying holding you accountable. In this age, it is important that you have that. I heard something today. I think it was yesterday actually, about it is innately in us. We look at the animals that we don't really do things alone. If a bird is on the telephone wire, he's normally with other birds. And if another prey or another enemy to that bird comes at that one bird, all the birds begin to fly together. There is more strength in unity, or not, I won't say just unity, in numbers than being by yourself. So I understand the sigma, I understand that, but there is more unity or more accomplished when you have a group of men that are going in a certain direction. So look at the example with me and Pimp God. Because of the collaboration of us coming together, we accomplish more together than we did, say, now I'm saying we come us apart. But there's a different dynamic that comes when you have two different perspectives coming together and sharing. Many of us have not learned the importance of the brotherhood, or men like men being together. So the masculine revival, men embracing strength, purpose, and accountability, it's right now. We have seen a breakdown this Wednesday, Wednesday, begin the shift. The shift has happened. If I were to go into 2025 to 26, there's been, now let me say this, because I know this is gonna be sort of, I have to say this. Just because men are going into their masculine revival, and I'm going to emphasize this, doesn't mean that men hate women. Oh boy, let me say that again. Just because men are going into their masculine revival doesn't mean that now men are going to start hating women. That is the fear that's given out through social media, is that if men begin to stand up and do their thing, that they're going to start hating on women. What men are going to do is start voting with their feet, not by hating on you, but not dealing with you. Let me say that again. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it misconstrued. Men are going to embrace the masculine revival, but just because they do that doesn't mean they're going to start hating on women. As has been propagated through these social media streets and through this political time of men being misogynists. Oh, but we don't talk about the misandry that goes on from the other side. But I'm telling you that men, when they begin to rise and decide that, you know what, I'm going to step into my purpose in being a man, guess what happens? You don't start hating on the women. He don't even start going back. Normally what a man do when he's on a mission, when a man rises up in his masculinity and stands on his business, he ain't gonna fuss with you, he ain't gonna debate with you, he's gonna walk away and not deal with you. That's the scary part, ladies, you should be worried about, not if a man's gonna hate you. It's when men take their attention off of you. When men just say, I'm not dealing with that behavior or that kind of actions. I'm not dealing with you talking back. Am I dealing with you over talking me? Am I dealing with whatever it may be? That's when men are they're not even fighting with you. They're not debating with you. They're not asking you. They're just completely saying, you know what? I'm done. That's when you need to be very afraid. Not with this whole boogeyman of, in the boogeyman in the closet of misogynists that they're throwing out there. It's just, I'm telling you, men don't love these women and they hating on us as misogynists. And even some Roland Martin, I don't know how that came out. People and Al Sharpton saying that men are just, it's misogyny, it's misogyny. No, it ain't misogyny. No, it ain't. I'm here to tell you, no, it ain't. It ain't. When men begin to love themselves, they begin to choose better women, and they choose better women, but they begin to treat the women actually better. Now that's real talk. Who's really afraid is the only reason why women would throw out the misogyny. And this man, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I'm gonna say it. The only reason why women would throw out the fear of misogyny, fear mongering, misogyny, and he's gonna hate on me and all this kind of stuff is because how they've been treating men all these years. They're afraid the retribution is going to come back to them. That's the real deal. They are afraid that if men wake up, don't deal with them, they're afraid that all the stuff they said about men, all the things they done to men in the child support, or they did in multiple things, that men going to come back and execute retribution on them and treat them like dogs. That's what they're afraid of. So before men can get up and get to the point of reviving themselves, I'm going to shame him by saying that he's a misogynist. And the reality of it is, when a man is done, he's done. When a man is done, he is done. There's no there's no changing his mind. There's no, baby, I want you back. He's done. That's the real fear. It's not the misogyny that they're afraid of. They're afraid that if you wake up, that you're going to treat them how they've been treating you. If this resonated with you, let me know in the chat room, because y'all ain't got quiet. You're like, wait a minute, LDA. You're a little brash, a little out there today. If you picking up what I'm putting down, that's the real fear. We're afraid that men are going to treat us like we've been treating them. And some women know they've been treating men like pieces of crap stuck on the bottom of their shoe that's been dried up. And they're afraid that men are going to wake up and be like, oh, you did that to me? I got you. So the defense is, let me call you out and say that you hate. But the real hate is that the real hatred starts within oneself. Y'all there? Y'all, I hope I didn't lose you guys there. I'm talking about reviving, masculine revival. Just let me know in the chat room you get picking up what I'm putting down, because I know that's pretty heavy right there. And I was going to talk about something else, self-mastery, in line of what last week, but I'll talk about that in a video, something like that. You're picking up what I'm putting down. This is pretty tough. But when a man is on this purpose, when a man is doing what he's passionate about, he will run into a woman, or he will find people who will be in line in the direction that he's going. That's why it's so important for men to find their purpose and their passion. It's so important that men begin to tap into their hidden strengths inside of their inside of their spirit, inside of their mind, and inside of their bodies. That is why it's so important for men to find other groups of men to get with, to grow with. You can only grow as far as the people that you have around you. And if you're around a bunch of scrubs, all you're going to be is the next scrub. Let me emphasize this what I said. She's not your best friend. Stop looking for love from her. That's hard game for somebody. Stop looking for love with her. Stop looking for her to love you. When you stop looking and you begin to love yourself, guess what happened? It's something magical when you begin to give love to a woman. She takes that and multiplies it. Some of you have never experienced the multiplication of a woman because you put the woman in the wrong position in your life. She can't multiply when you give her nothing to multiply. A woman cannot multiply if you give her nothing to multiply. If you're in the position of taking from her and not giving to her, what can she multiply? The math is not mathing. But when you have all, that's one of my favorite artists, El DeBarge would say, all this love is waiting for you, my darling, my babe. All this love. When men begin to stand on their 10 toes down, it changes the dynamic between men and women. So when you really think about it, when women are saying men are in, when women are saying, when women, I'm about to cut it in a few minutes. When women are saying that these men are hatred, they're going to hate us, they're misogynists, what they're saying is this. Pick it up what they're really saying, especially the people on social media, what they're saying. We have not received love from a man. Anyone who's yelling out, oh, they're misogynists and they don't love women, I'm going to lose it, I'm going to cry, I'm going to do all this. What they're really crying out for is love. What conquers all things? Love. What conquers hate? Oh, the opposite of hate, we would say, is love. When you hear people write online, and they're misogynists, and what they're really saying is, I need love. Because you're projecting the hate that you have for yourself onto others, and what you really need is some love. And the reality of it is, the reality of it is, and I'm gonna say it because it's my channel, I can say it, it's my free speech. What I'm saying, a lot of these women just need love. All that extra doing all that stuff need love. And what's the problem with a lot of these men? They stop looking for love. What the old country song saying, looking for love in all the wrong places. You got to look for love from within. It changes everything. Now, I'm not saying something I'm not living or not even exercising. I'm going to be very clear. So I'm not up here trying to give theory of something that I am not participating and putting actions in. Because a lot of people talk real good up online, but they're not living anything that's worth a dime. I don't care how much game there is out there. And I'm all for game. And I already gave my definition many times of what I define as game. And like I always say, the first game that you play is on yourself. I've said that many times. The first game that you ever play is not on others, but on yourself, because it always starts within. If you understood that many times I moved chess pieces on the inside of me and watched them move on the outside of me. Let me say that again. If you understood how many times I've moved chess pieces on the inside of me and watched them like almost like invisible forces moving the chess pieces on the outside of me. The issue is we have not played in the playground of our imagination and then the spirit to move chess pieces on the inside of us, to move what's going on the outside of us. That's why I wasn't moved if Trump won or if Harris won. You know why? I know who controls the chess pieces on the inside. I'm going to come from a place of abundance and not lack. So while everybody's having a breakdown, emotional breakdown online and crying, and I can't believe this, and now they want to use Bible verses, that lets me know as much as you're using these Bible verses, God is in control. And people I had never seen using Bible verses online. I realized, wait a minute, as much as they're saying God is in control, but is he in control? Is he the Lord on the inside of you? It's an old song we used to sing when I was a kid. I used to laugh at them because the old mothers used to dance and get happy with it. And it said like this: it says, Jesus on the inside, working on the outside. Oh, what a change in my life. We have not allowed the God consciousness inside of us to begin to move inside, move on the within, and not be moved on what's without. We have not allowed the God consciousness of who we are to not be bothered or be moved by what we see on the outside, but rather we are moved by what we see on the inside. So that we'll never bother whoever's in office. Only people who are bothered by who is in office have made an emotional investment that they shouldn't have made. I'm not saying not to vote, but I am saying you made an emotional investment and now you're not getting a return. I hate to laugh at you, but I have to laugh at you. You're not getting your return. And now you're mad because you're bankrupt. Well, you don't understand the policies, LDA, and this going to happen. You said you believe in God. Where's your God now? Oh, I hate my, I know y'all hate my evil laugh, but it is what it is. Where's your God now? Don't come in all them Bible verses. I know a lot of y'all, they've been Bible versing it up. And when God is in trouble, that this and this and that. Oh boy, I know that's a lot for somebody. But this is Lawrence D. Adams. I'm going to stop because I don't want to become turned into the troll over here and ruffle some feathers. But I have to say that the masculine revival has already started. Men are beginning to stand up and saying what they want and what do not want. And what happens is this world is so not used to it, so it sounds like thunder to them, and it's really not thunder. It's men speaking out. I've seen a video, a couple of videos this week of a particular person. I'm not going to say their name, and they were getting interviewed, and he had to put the reporter in check. And people said, "Well, that was brash for him to do that." No, it wasn't so much brash. He's standing up like a man. Even Putin had to acknowledge that what's going on, these nuts? That Donald Trump acted like a man. So y'all can get past the personality and look at what's really going on. Masculinity is making a comeback, baby. I'm here to tell you. And this, let me say this for all the detractors who want to say, who come to me in my DM and family members and like that. Because men are embracing their masculinity doesn't mean we're going to start hating on women. Oh, we're just not going to deal with you. Don't get mad. Like my grandfather used to say, don't get mad, just leave. Oh, you sound cynical, LDA. No, I'm sounding like a man. Because men are making a masculine men are coming to come back, they're not going to deal with a lot of that hee-haw, fussing and cussing and all that, going back and forth. You're not going to deal with that. I'm telling you, not something that I read, not something that I'm telling you something that I know. Men are going to be like, okay. Actually, men, you really think about it, we're not going to really get emotional about it. We're just going to be like, okay, this is what it is. All right, cool. Peace. All right, cool. It's cold out there, I'm telling you. Do you see how women and Dems were acting like particularly? Yep, I seen that. Yep, I seen that. But this is what it's showing you. It's not to condemn the Dems or even the women for acting like that. What it's showing you is this. It's showing you the importance of a masculine cover. We cover some of that. And some of that stuff, let me say we cover some of it, but not all of it. I ain't gonna say all of it because I'm not using emotional labor on someone who don't want to be involved with me. More and 8 more minutes until I'm on live time and on speed 2, right? So I want you guys to get that. If you really enjoyed it, let me see what you're saying. Hit the thumbs up before we go. Yep. Thank you so much. I'm about to get ready to go. Thank you so much for listening. This is Lawrence D. Allen. This is when spirituality and the game combines. What you experience, what you're about to see, watch the news. Watch what's going to happen. You're going to see a rise, a tick of men beginning to step up and take their rightful place. It's going to be strange for a lot of people. While some women are going to bask like they're at the beach with their glasses on, with their bikini, and soak it all up. Thank you. I appreciate that, McCain. Appreciate that. So definitely hit the like button. I appreciate you guys. I know I said some things that are pretty controversial. I know I got people listening who may not agree or disagree. That I've been called a misogynist to everything on my lives on Facebook, on Instagram. You know what? I'm at the point I don't even care. Call me what you want. Just spell my name right when you write that check. Just write my name right. But I think what's happening, we're going to see an uptick of men beginning to stand up and be who they are. And then you thinking that men are going to hate, they're not going to hate. It's just not going to deal with certain things. Actually, men are actually like that. If you've been around any amount of men, any amount of time, they don't take a bunch of crap anyway. Just don't. I can't take it. I don't deal with it. My sons know that. Anyone who has dealt with me know I don't have time for it. I'll hear you out, but then I'll zone out. With that being said, I am about to go. Let me play my signature. You know what that means? Thank you for this. Appreciate you guys. Don't. Let me forget about this. Let me do this. Copy. I didn't do it right. Copy. You've been asking, where is that pimp God? What's going on? What's going on, my dude? Hit the like button. Here's the Patreon. Y'all want to see the whole 3 episodes with me and Pimp God? It is on Patreon. Here's the link to it. Let me put this up right, highlighted. I did not do that. I may move it there, then I may move it into a series where you can just buy the series. But that's where it is. If you want to get that 3 hours of information, Pimp Cybernetics, it is on Patreon. It's only $7 to join. Now, I didn't make it. No, you know I don't like that. It's only $7. You want to get the Pimp God and me talking about Pimp Cybernetics 3 weeks we talked about for 3. It's more than 3 hours, about 4 hours altogether. It's on Patreon. It's only $7 to join. On 7, you can't even go to Starbucks and get a $7 tea or coffee. $7 a month is on Patreon. You want to get that Pimp Cybernetics? It is on Patreon. I took it off of YouTube. People say, where is it? It's right there on Patreon. And I'm going to move it one more time. If I don't see what I see on Patreon, I'm going to move it and I'm going to put it as a course, and you will definitely pay a lot more. But for $7, you can't beat that. You get to get all 3 of those teachings for $7. Support you support what you want to grow in your life. With that being said, let me make sure I end this correctly. I'm right at I'm right there in an hour. Go back and listen to this because this is just what it is. But there's a revival of men. We're doing it. I appreciate you. Thank you, thinking class. I appreciate you for sticking with me all these years. I've been doing this since 2007. I have nothing but appreciation for everyone. Thank you for those who listen, who don't listen. People agree or don't agree. I still love you. Don't forget to join the Patreon where the Patreon Thinking Class 1. That's where those videos are with me and Pimp God. I'm going to throw another one up there. But there are 3 videos we did for 3 weeks. They are there. They are sitting over there. With that being said, this is Lawrence E. Adams, and I'm out. I'm at the hour. I'm out. Oh, I didn't put an outro. Let's do an outro for this. I didn't think about this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why you got to do that?